This is QTV Nightly News. I am Umudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. Here are the news headlines. In his Eid message focused on peace, harmony and national unity, President Adama Barrow called on all Gambians to unite in support of the nation's continued development. The IMF Afritalk West 2 Forum on Central Bank Modernization opened in Banjul, bringing together central bank leaders, policymakers and experts from across the region on Tuesday. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education plans to integrate local languages into the national curriculum with the goal of enhancing learning and preserving cultural heritage. As part of the Alliance Francaise Banjul Women's Empowerment Project, which celebrates the extraordinary accomplishments of women, we engage Maya Tal Hachimai, a pioneer in environmental research and the executive director of the Great Institute. We hear from the Lower Nyomi Girls Football Club, a group of dynamic young girls determined to achieve success despite facing challenges and stereotypes. Those were the news headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. In a message centered on peace, harmony and national unity, President Adama Barrow urged all Gambians to come together in support of the nation's ongoing development. He made these remarks during his Eid dialogue with religious leaders at the State House. Osman Jatter has the details.
As the world faces unprecedented challenges, the Gambia shines as a beacon of resilience and progress, fueled by a steadfast spirit of unity and determination. President Barrow emphasized that the key to any nation's progress is its ability to unite. He stressed that the collective efforts of every Gambian is essential to the country's continued advancement.
Let us pray for peace in the Gambia. There can only be one president at a time, and that is a fact we must accept. When the time comes for me to step down, I will do so.
There are no two presidents anywhere in the world. It's one president.
President Barrow reflected on his path to the presidency, sharing personal experiences from his 2016 election contest against former President Yahya Jammeh.
The biggest risk, contest against Yahya Jammeh. That was my biggest risk.
The biggest risk of my life were contesting for presidency against Jammeh. When I was supposed to be afraid, I stood firm. That is the past now, but people tend to forget.
The president also reminded government officials of their true responsibility.
When you spoke to some government officials, they say, I will not work for this man. But you are not working for me, you are working for the Gambia.
As the nation walks towards progress, President Barrow highlighted the crucial role of infrastructure in shaping the country's future development.
Infrastructural development. We cannot develop without infrastructural development.
The country cannot progress without infrastructural development. This is why when the Africa Development Bank asked me about my government's priority, my response was clear: infrastructural development. If we want to promote health, education and industrialization, there must be robust infrastructure to support them.
Education for infrastructural development.
Looking ahead, President Barrow expressed his unwavering belief in the Gambia's potential and urged all citizens to stay focused on the country's shared future.
Let us all work for the Gambia. If we stand firm and work together, within 5 or 10 years, the Gambia will be envied globally.
While acknowledging gaps in his development agenda, the Gambian leader expressed pride in the progress made so far.
I
may not have been able to achieve all my wishes for the country, but the little I have been able to do is widely praised and appreciated by our development partners. There are countries that come to the Gambia to conduct studies on our success.
The President's Eid message serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of peace, unity, and the collective effort needed to build a brighter future for the Gambia. Osman Chata, reporting for QTV News.
The IMF AfriTAC West 2 Forum on Central Bank Modernization opened in Banjul, bringing together central bank leaders, policymakers and experts from across the region. This pivotal event provides a platform for sharing insights and best practices on modernizing monetary systems, enhancing financial stability and promoting economic growth.
The convergence is organized by the Regional Technical Assistance Center 2, AfriTAC, and supported by the International Monetary Fund. Over the next 2 days, central bank representatives from Cape Verde, the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone will engage in discussions to evaluate and identify best practices. They will reflect on the experiences of their representative organizations, which aligns with global standards to enhance the effectiveness of central banking in the region. Using artificial intelligence to enhance central bank operations and transitioning operational targets from reserve money to interest rates are key focus areas for the central bank representatives. Ivo Hasina Fizara Raza Fima Hifa, director of AfriTAC West 2, emphasized the importance of these discussions in modernizing central banking practices and improving monetary policy effectiveness across the region.
For this forum to provide a platform for all of us to exchange views, and exchange views not only during this forum, but also for this forum to create a group that we can still exchange views even after the forum. When you have problems, you have difficulties in modernization, in leadership of the central banks, you can call each other based on the relationship that you have built here, so that we can address together and share experience on how to solve some particular issues.
The Africa Regional Technical Assistance Center AfriTAC West 2 has played a pivotal role in supporting the Gambia's modernization process through the development of a robust forecasting and policy analysis system. This system, built around a core quarterly projection model tailored to the Gambia's unique economic context, has significantly enhanced the country's monetary policy decision-making process. Buha Seydi is the governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia.
Modernizing central banks is not merely an aspiration, it is a necessity. The increasing complexity of financial markets, the emergence of new risks, and the rapid digital transformation of economies requires central banks to continuously evolve.
The Africa Regional Technical Assistance Center was established in response to African leaders' call for increased technical assistance from the international community, with a focus on building capacity in key macroeconomic and financial management areas. AfriTAC West 2 provides essential TA and training to 6 countries in the region: Cape Verde, the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. Through this support, the center helps strengthen economic policies and financial systems, fostering sustainable development across West Africa. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, MOPSI, is set to incorporate local languages into the national curriculum, aiming to enhance learning and preserving cultural heritage. Demba Waiba engaged stakeholders to discuss strategies for effective implementation. Here is the report.
Language policy will integrate local languages widely spoken across various regions of the Gambia into the education system. Mamadou Jeng is the Director of Curriculum at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, MOPSI.
The number one objective of the policy is to mitigate the learning loss that we are experiencing at foundational level. At foundational level, we mean from ECD to grade 3, children are coming from background where English is not spoken to them. Right now we have 7 languages in the policy, and that is Mandinka, Pular, Olof, Saragole, Jola, Serer, and Manjak.
The initiative, proposed in 2023, follows a comprehensive language mapping exercise conducted in schools to gather data on language distribution patterns across the country. This data will help curriculum officials design a targeted approach for incorporating local languages into the education system.
We wanted to have an idea what languages are dominant in the areas, in the communities and the schools, because these schools are in communities. And of course, you can have a fair understanding of what languages are dominant in some communities. For example, in Region 4, we know that Mandinka, Pular, and some aspect of Sarahule. In Region 6, Base area, we know Pular, Sarahule, and Mandinka are dominant languages.
The language in the education policy seeks to establish a solid foundation in national languages for students, enhancing their ability to communicate ideas and revive cultural awareness. Honorable Sidia Jata is the consultant to guide the implementation of the language in the education policy.
The whole objective is to lay a proper foundation for a child's acquisition of knowledge. Learning a mother tongue as a start strengthens you cognitively. It makes you apt to acquire anything, to learn anything better. So that's why no child is excluded. No language is excluded.
The Gambia takes pride in its many indigenous languages which embody the nation's culture and heritage and can be leveraged as tools to unlock its development potential. However, the successful implementation of this policy will require significant resources. Honorable Jata elaborates.
First, the big challenge is you need huge resources, because implementing this type of policy in our context means you need huge resources for the materials, for the training, for the teachers, and all that is needed to make it implemented successfully.
Since its inception in 2022, the policy has undergone rigorous surveys and consultations culminating in its validation in 2023. This roadmap includes key initiatives such as launching pilot programs, creating robust monitoring systems, and establishing a framework for ongoing stakeholder engagement. Demba Waiba, QTV News.
From that report, now we go for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taaw place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal ne fii rek la am bara wërga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saas añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal baara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taamu gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër baara wërga bii mooy wërga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inessa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
Gas, the energy that brings us together.
Powered by Africa, Oryx Energies.
It is that time of the year again. The annual Taxpayers Award ceremony is back. The GRA will hold the 7th edition of the Taxpayers Appreciation and Award Ceremony on Saturday, April 12, 2025, and this time at the Coco Ocean Hotel Resort, commencing at 7 p.m. The awards is dedicated to our esteemed and valued taxpayers who consistently pay their taxes and duties on time, file their returns, present original and authentic customs documents, present accurate declarations with the right tariff and classification, and comply with the provision of the revenue laws. This grand and spectacular ceremony will be graced by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, cabinet ministers, senior government officials, members of the business community and development partners. A memorable night is assured in this year's award ceremony. Remember, GRA is your GRA. GRA is our GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
GRA.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is QTV News. As part of the Alliance Francaise Banjul Women's Empowerment Project, which highlights the extraordinary accomplishments of women, Loli M. Kamara engaged Maya Tal Hachimai, a pioneer in environmental research and the executive director of the Great Institute. Here is the report.
Founded in 2017, the Great Institute is a non-profit organization that has become a key player in advancing research and knowledge about the country's marine, freshwater, and coastal ecosystems. As Executive Director, Maya's delegation to environmental conservation and sustainable resource management is evident. She shared the inspiration.
My inspiration was here in the Gambia. As a young child, I was always by the beachside or on the river, exploring nature and the environment.
One of the most fascinating aspects of the institution's work is its ongoing study of the Gambia's wetlands, which are a vital part of the country's biodiversity. Madam Tal Hachimai offered insights into the hands-on research being conducted in these crucial wetland areas.
And just like you saw earlier today, we were measuring the water and we noticed that the salinity was 39 parts per thousand. So what that means is that in the ocean, the average salinity is 35 parts per thousand. So to be here at the Tambi wetlands and the salinity is 39, that's pretty alarming, that's pretty high. And we're only in the month of March. So we still have time before the rainy season comes. So we will see those numbers increasing. So what does that mean? That means that a lot of the fish that cannot survive in high levels of salinity will probably migrate somewhere else.
A key part of the institution's mission is tackling climate challenges through scientific research and education. Here, Madam Tal, the executive director, explains what happens next after samples are collected and analyzed.
Use that data really to help write reports and help students also publish papers in a peer-reviewed article or to help use it for their studies when they graduate from UTG. We do work with government. We try to support them as technical advisors.
The institution also strives to train the next generation of environmental stewards, connect decision makers with up-to-date scientific data, and inspire communities to understand and protect their ecosystems. Madam Tal also shared how they are actively engaging with youth volunteers across various communities.
Currently, we have a program where we have 4 community science leaders, and every 2 weeks they're in schools helping the teachers give practical hands-on experience so that the theoretical knowledge that they're gaining can be more enhanced with the practical knowledge.
According to the Institute, this commitment helps strengthen the Gambia's observation and data systems related to its marine and coastal environments. Mamadou Dia Sefal, Program Officer at the Great Institute, has this to say.
It's funny that I never see myself as in this position before, because at first I wanted to be an engineer, mostly like architecture or civil engineer. Then as time goes on, after my internship and I got hired and my experience, so my whole career decided to change again.
Having robust observation and data systems for the Gambia's marine and coastal environments is essential for understanding and addressing the impacts of climate change, pollution, and overfishing. These systems enable the collection of accurate, reliable data, which is crucial for shaping policies and strategies aimed at protecting and preserving these delicate ecosystems. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
On Tuesday, the Gambia Fire and Rescue Services held a graduation ceremony for several officers and firefighters who underwent intensive capacity building with trainers from Avon Fire and Rescue Services Department in the United Kingdom. Ma'am Nabukar attended the ceremony, and this is our report.
The training
focused on enhancing fire safety and emergency response in the Gambia, was conducted as part of the enduring partnership between the Gambia and Avon Fire and Rescue Services, which has supported the Gambia Fire and Rescue Services for over 30 years. The graduation ceremony, held at the Fire and Rescue Services headquarters, was attended by dignitaries and government officials who gathered to celebrate the hard work and dedication of both the participants and trainers, marking the successful conclusion of the training. The 2-week training program, led by a team of firefighters, mechanics, prevention staff, and corporate employees from Avon Fire and Rescue Services, provided 50 fire officers with advanced firefighting techniques, emergency response strategies, and training on modern firefighting equipment to enhance the overall effectiveness of the GFRS. Here are Sang Sindao, the Chief Fire Officer of the GFRS, and Simon Shilton, the Chief Fire Officer of the AFRS.
We pledge that the knowledge acquired during these 2 weeks intensive training with the able training instructors from Avon will significantly enhance our service to the communities.
Building the skills that are required to keep your community safe, to save lives and protect buildings when an incident or emergency occurs.
As part of the ceremony, the graduates performed a demonstration of the techniques they learned during the training, showcasing not only their technical skills, but also the importance of teamwork, communication, and leadership in emergency situations. Dave Price, the lead trainer of the AFRS team, and Abraham Mendy, the Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, highlighted the significance of such training.
Through our training, they now understand the fire is going to burn. What has started to burn, you can't necessarily save. What you can save is the surrounding buildings, surrounding properties, surrounding livelihoods of your communities.
I want to make this clear. The training is not only specific to you, those of you who benefited, but it is meant for you to train others who does not have the opportunity to be present, so that all of us can be on the same level and respond to our communities when we are needed.
Musa Jallo, the lead firefighter at the GFRS, spoke on behalf of the participants.
To the instructors, your intention is very clear. That is to help and enhance our capability as a fire and rescue service provider. It is highly appreciated, and we pray that it becomes success for both countries.
The graduation ceremony concluded with the presentation of certificates to the graduates and prizes to the trainers, honoring their hard work and dedication in making the training a success. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of the news. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another bulletin.